Dave Mustaine just dropped his final album. No elaborate title, no cryptic artwork, just one single word: Megadeth. Because when you have waged a 40-year war, your name alone is the declaration. But hidden inside this album is something most people will miss. A message, a chess move, a final act of revenge disguised as art. And it all goes back to the band that kicked him out in 1983. This is the story of how anger became nuclear energy. 1985, Megadeth's debut Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. Mustaine includes Mechanics, a song he wrote that Metallica stole, renamed the Four Horsemen, and put it on Kill 'Em All. 2025, Megadeth's final album. Mustaine includes Ride the Lightning, another song he co-wrote that Metallica used for the second album, also titled Ride the Lightning. Coincidence? With Dave Mustaine, nothing is coincidence. Everyone knows that old story. Mustaine got fired from Metallica in 1983, kicked to the curb, humiliated, and replaced. Over the years, relationships improved, handshakes, public reconciliation, but for Mustaine, that wound never closed. It became fuel, obsession, nuclear energy. Anger is an energy. John Lydon from the Sex Pistols and Public Enemy once said. For Mustaine, anger powereth 17 studio albums and 4 decades of relentless musical warfare. My favorite band of the Big Four, Megadeth, and it's not even close. From day one, Mustaine wanted the world to know he wasn't just part of Metallica's beginning. He was essential to the birth of thrash metal itself. He left songs on Metallica's first 2 albums. His DNA is in their foundation. But now, for the finale, Mustaine wants to make something else clear. He was fundamental to its evolution. And that evolution started with Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning wasn't just another musical album. It was their first blow against the glam metal empire that ruled MTV and radio in the mid-80s. Sophistication, maturity, darkness, and depth. Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction was the second strike. Nirvana's Nevermind was the third and final blow that shattered the glam metal kingdom. But Ride the Lightning, that was the true blueprint. Axl Rose used to blast it at full volume in his car, showing off his sound system, but he wasn't just showing off. He was studying. Axl Rose wanted that sound, raw, aggressive, yet sophisticated enough to escape the underground and conquer the world and conquer the masses. Producer Mike Link was tasked with recreating that sonic alchemy for Guns N' Roses. And he nailed it. Metallica was so impressed by what Mike Link did with Guns N' Roses. They tried to hire him for And Justice for All. It didn't work out. They were too loyal to their house producer, Flemming Rasmussen. But Mustaine didn't hesitate for a single second. With brutal cunning, he hired Mike Link to produce Rust in Peace in 1990. Link became the first producer to survive an entire album recording with Mustaine, a man notorious for volcanic temper and obsessive perfectionism. The result? The best album of Megadeth's career, a masterpiece of technical and visceral trash. While Metallica wandered into creative labyrinths during the 90s with load and reload albums that divided and eroded their fan base, Mustaine did what Mustaine does best. He evolved the sound he helped to create: abrasive, raw, dynamic, venomous, lightning-fast instrumental brilliance. Rust in Peace, Countdown to Extinction, Euthanasia. Album after album, Megadeth became the intellectually and technically superior alternative within thrash. Not louder, not flashier, sharper. Now, with this final album, Mustaine closes the cycle, and he leaves clues, breadcrumbs, for those paying a lot and a lot of attention. He's reminding the whole world and his former bandmates who the invisible architect really was. Not the guy who stayed, not the guy who got the glory, the guy who got kicked out, the guy who transformed rejection into a 40-year masterclass in resilience, rage, and relentless creativity. This isn't just revenge, it's what we call poetic justice. It's the last chess move of a resentful genius who turned pain into transcendental art. Dave Mustaine didn't just survive being fired from Metallica. He built a big empire on spite, skill, and unshakable belief in his vision. And now, as he closes the book, he's making sure history remembers he wasn't just there at the beginning. He was essential to everything that came after. Anger is an energy. For most people, it's destructive, it's toxic, and it's a dead end. For Dave Mustaine, it was rocket fuel. 17 albums, 4 decades, a legacy carved in steel, and one final album that needs no title beyond the name he forged in fire. Megadeth. The war is over, but the victory that was won a long time ago.